Welcome back to the Proximity is Power podcast. Today is episode 56 and the second solo cast. Today's topic is something near and dear to my heart. It's called the 4 pillars to the good life. And I learned this lesson 10 years ago on YouTube, and it's completely changed my life. It's made me happier, more successful. I have more purpose, and every year gets better and better because I apply the lessons in this topic. So I'm excited to share. I thought it would be a good fit for the second solo cast from me. So the 4 pillars to the good life. Now, I know that in life, a lot of people have a lot of different categories of what they deem as important, and people prioritize these categories differently. But the main ones that people talk about all the time is faith, or spirituality, health, relationships, mission, work, or calling, finances, personal growth, habits or time, fun, enjoyment, hobbies, adventure, impact, and legacy. And those are all good categories, and it's important to have, categories in your life. But for today's lesson, we're going to basically condense all of those things into just these 4 categories. So the 4 pillars to the good life are: number 1, health; second, wealth; third, love; and fourth, happiness. So the enemy of execution is complexity. And for me, if I have 10, 15, 20 categories, it really gets hard in my mind to process it and be intentional. And so I love this idea. If you're like me, it might help out to just simplify it, and having these 4 categories helps me do that. So what we're going to talk about, this is the coolest thing ever, because you have these 4 pillars, right? You have health, you have wealth, you have love, and happiness. The cool part is there's a macro way of applying these, and then the micro. And the micro is on a daily basis, and it's in the order that we talk about it. So you're going to start your day with health. Every day you're going to be intentional about becoming the healthiest version of you. Second, wealth. We're going to talk about how to be the wealthiest version of you. Third, we're going to talk about love and relationships, how to have the best relationships and why that's important. Last but not least is happiness, and that's the 4th category. And what's cool is when you prioritize your health in the morning and you focus on your wealth during the day, and then you spend time with loved ones at night, you are going to be happy. Because my definition of happiness is progress. When I'm growing the most, I'm the most happy. When I'm not growing, that's when I'm the most miserable. So let's get started. So I start my day with health. So what do I do for that? If you haven't listened to my podcast last week on the Power of Morning, do that and then come back here. But I start my day with health, and a lot of people start their day with health. A lot of people work out. Some people don't work out and they just get right to work. I don't recommend that. There's a quote that I heard from Tony Robbins, and he says, "A healthy man has 1,000 wishes, but a sick person only has one." And a sick person's wish, is to, feel better and get healthy again. So listen, my dad in high school, he recommended me start reading a lot of autobiographies and biographies of successful people. And a common pattern I saw and learned in these super successful people is a lot of them had regrets and died early in their health category, and a lot of them had a lot of regrets in their love or relationships category. The one that comes to mind in the health category is Larry H. Miller. He, big Utah business owner. He owned a bunch of car dealerships. He owned the Utah Jazz basketball team, which is an NBA franchise. And he died super young. And he completely neglected his health. He never worked out. He didn't care what he ate. He'd take a candy bar to work for breakfast. And he also had a lot of regrets in the, family relationship side. So learn from others and don't make the same mistake. You got to be intentional with your health, because, a lot of times people neglect that area and then it's too late and they get sick, and then, all their other goals and dreams fall out the window because they're too sick to do anything. So I like starting my day with health. And the reason why I like to start my day with health is because, you wake up early and it's just you, and you have that time to, work on yourself. So I think some people work out, like I said, but I think with health, in the morning, you really got to work out three things. And I talked about this last time in Power Morning, but you got to work out your body every day. And that's working out, work out, like do weights, do yoga, do running, jumping, whatever. So work out your body every day, move your body, strengthen your body. You got to work that out every freaking day. Second, your mind. You got to work out your mind every day, and you got to get new ideas, new thoughts, new insights on how to live a better life, how to be the best version of you. And so read every freaking day. I read at least 10 pages a day, and then I'm listening to an hour plus of audiobooks, while I'm driving or when I'm working out or if I'm cooking. Like, I'm always listening to an audiobook or podcast. So read every day, work out your mind, like get new ideas, get new thoughts in there. The third thing is you got to work out your state of mind. And I do that with Tony Robbins priming, where you focus on gratitude, you focus on your goals, and it just gets you in this beautiful state where you can show up and execute at the highest level. Tony Robbins talks about success in life, 80% is psychology, 20% strategy. And so you got to get your mind right, and that's the psychology, and that's where the priming comes in, where you can go execute at the highest level because you worked out your state for the day. I prime today, and I will prime, every day. So that's where you start in the morning. So work out your body, work out your mind, work out your state. And then other health habits that I'll just talk about briefly. Every day for probably 10 years, I want to say, it feels like it, probably like 8 or 9 years, I've done intermittent fasting. I'm really good at it when I'm home. I'm not the best at it when I'm traveling, but I'm getting better. But intermittent fasting, what that is just giving you like a 5 to 8 hour window of eating. And then the rest of the time you're fasting. So what I do is I don't eat anything until after 12 or 1 o'clock. So I don't eat breakfast, and I wait until 12 or 2 or 3. The shorter the eating period, the better. And so the reason I do that is a lot of people think we get our energy from eating food, which is not entirely true. In fact, our bodies spend more energy digesting than almost any other bodily function. And so giving your body time to rest and digest and clean itself out is key. So every day I intermittent fast, and that's been a game changer. And it's also, saves you time from not having to cook and clean so freaking often. And I don't really snack. I don't eat snacks between meals. That's also, just giving your body a break in between meals. Other health habits, supplements. I used to take all these supplements blindly. I just, like, people would say I needed to take them, and I take them. But there's a doctor. Dr. Hyman is a guy I follow for nutrition and health advice. He's a stud. I also like Dr. Berg on YouTube. He's got like 14. He's got the best health videos out there. I'd go study him. But Dr. Hyman, he started a website called Function Health. And what's cool about Function Health is you can go on there, get your blood drawn every 6 months, I think it is. And they measure like 150 biomarkers. They'll measure how your heart's doing, your liver, your kidneys, like your blood, like your hormones. Like, it measures so many different things. And then not only that, it will tell you your biological age based on the blood. And it's cool because, I'm 27 and my biological age is 16 because I prioritized health in my life. And it's really cool. But based on your blood work, you can see how you're doing. You can see a scorecard of where your health's at, because a lot of people, don't find out till it's too late. And what's cool too about Function Health is they'll recommend specific supplements for you and your body and food, which is crazy. So I highly recommend that. It's functionhealth.com. I think it's normally $500 for a 1-year membership, But we've been signing up a bunch of people when we heard through the grapevine that if you use promo code TEST123, you can get it for free. So that should work. TEST123, no caps. But if it doesn't, I had to pay $500, so don't feel too bad. So that's another one. Supplements. You should definitely take supplements. We're not getting enough nutritional value in our food anymore to not be supplementing, and get your blood tested. Last but not least is nutrition. I really like Dr. Mark Hyman. I talked about it. He has a book called Food, What the Heck to Eat. I follow a lot of those principles, and then what Dr. Berg says on YouTube as well. But basically, I try to eat, more God-made food than man-made food. That's like a good rule of thumb. Like if God made it, it's probably healthy. If man made it, it's probably not healthy. The more ingredients it has, the worse it is for you. Pretty self-explanatory there. But as far as health goes, I, eat organic fruits and vegetables, 100% grass-fed beef. I don't eat chicken that often, if ever. And if it is, it's super clean. Pasture-raised organic eggs. I drink a smoothie. I eat eggs. I eat sourdough bread, organic. My favorite restaurants to eat out in Utah are Aubergine. Everything there's, grass-fed, clean, organic. And then I really like Redmond Farms. They have grass-fed burgers, and they cook their fries in coconut oil. So those are some good steps as far as the health side. So every day you should focus on health. Work out your body, work out your mind, work out your state, and then put good things into your body, okay? That's the premise. So every day, focus on health. Guys, starting your day with health will help you execute in those other categories way better. But if you neglect your health, you're not going to have the energy, to go execute in your relationships or in your job. So super important, start your day with health. Do the freaking power morning and promise you'll feel powerful. Every day I'm on day something, 20 something today. I feel freaking unstoppable. The next category is wealth. I think there's two main parts in the wealth category. So you have your career or your work or your mission, and then you have your personal finance. So work, career, and mission. Couple things I'll talk about. So the first is whatever you're doing, be the best. Like that's guiding principle number one. If you work at Panda Express right now, be the best freaking employee at Panda Express has ever seen. Be the best you can where you are. That is a huge principle. Like you have no idea who's watching you, and your job and your life and your pay and everything and promotions will come when you become the best version of you and when you become the best you can be. Be the best you can be no matter where you go, and you'll have opportunities pouring out your ears. The first thing I'd say besides that is learn high-paying skills. Whether that's sales, whether that's editing videos, whether that's software skills, whether that's programming skills, whether you're an engineer, you're a doctor, like learn high-paying skills. And once you master one, keep stacking high-paying skills, because Robert Kiyosaki says salary and hourly jobs are slavery, because no matter how hard you work, there's no guarantee for a promotion. And the more you work, like you're just trading time for money. And that's a hard way to get rich, because you have no leverage. You have no skill that you can leverage to make more money. And so learn a high-paying skill and always be learning high-paying skills. The more high-paying skills you have, the more money you're going to make, and the more valuable you are to the marketplace. You get paid in direct proportion to the value you bring the marketplace. If you're working a job that everyone can do, doesn't take a lot of skill, you're easily replaceable, and because of that, you're not going to get paid super well. But if you're learning and master a skill that is valuable and is rare, that's going to be where you're making more and more money. So that's my advice in the career mission. So I'd say learn high-paying skills, be the best in your field, learn to be the best. If you're in sales, be the best freaking salesperson you can be. If you're a doctor, be the best freaking doctor you can be. If you're an accountant, be the best accountant out there. And then also, some questions to ask yourself about your work. Ask yourself these questions as we go. So, am I compensated fairly at work? Am I creatively utilized at work? Like, can you express yourself? Am I passionately engaged at work? Am I making a contribution at work? So I like those questions because it kind of gives you, a quick analysis of where you're at. And I think a lot of people say follow your passion when it comes to work or starting a business, but I actually believe that you should follow opportunity. And then once you make a lot of money, you can follow your passions and not have to worry about it making money. A lot of times when people follow their passions, their passions turn into stuff they hate because they tried to make money doing it. So that's what I'd say on the career work mission front. And for me, I got started in sales right out of high school, and my dad's just like, hey, I don't care, if you want to be a doctor, an accountant, an engineer, sales will make you better in any field you go into. If you're a doctor, you're going to be a better doctor because you know how to sell. If you're going to be an accountant, you'll be a better accountant. If you're a teacher, you're going to be a better teacher if you know sales. And so I went out and did sales my first summer after high school, and I made, close to $30,000 that first summer. And I did the backwards math, and I averaged $50 an hour. Where before I was a lifeguard, I had barely made like $7, $8, $10 an hour as a lifeguard, busting my butt. And my first summer selling, mastering the skill of sales, I was able to, make like on average 10 grand a month that summer. And that was super cool. And that completely changed my life because I always knew that if shiz hit the fan, I could go make, 30 grand in 2 months if I needed to. And then I got better at selling, and I made even more money. The next year I went out and sold, I made 100 grand. And then I learned another skill. I learned how to recruit. I learned how to train. I learned how to lead and manage teams. And that paid me even more money because then I was, utilizing multiple skills. And anyway, you just get better and better as you go. So whatever you're doing, become the best and try to find an opportunity where you can leverage your skill set. The other side of wealth is personal finances. And the most important thing when it comes to personal finance is you have to choose a percentage of what you're committed to investing. So let's say you make 100 grand a year, you need to choose a percent that you're committed to investing. A lot of people say invest at least 10% of what you make. Yeah, you should for sure at least start there, but give yourself a raise as often as you can. Try to invest, if you invested 10% last year, try to invest 20% and then 30 and then 50. Try to give yourself a raise because the higher the percent is that you choose to invest, the faster you'll retire and the faster you'll be financially free. So right now, decide, if you haven't already, what percent are you committed to investing of what you earn? And the cool part is if you're doing the first part of wealth well, if you're learning more high-paying skills, you will be earning more and more money. And as you earn more and more money, it will be easier to invest higher percents because, if you lived on 15% of $1 million, that's $150,000 a year that you could spend. So it does get easier, but live as broke as you can now and invest the difference. Like if you can just apply that principle, like choose a high percent that makes you uncomfortable. For me, since my first summer, I decided I was going to invest 80 cents on every dollar I earned. And I've done that since high school, and it made me a millionaire at 22, which is crazy. But it's because I literally didn't buy clothes for like 8 years after high school. I was living off merch that I got from the companies I was at. Like I literally did not spend money, and I just invested everything in real estate, and it did really well for me. So basically, first thing you got to do when it comes to personal finance is pick a percent of what you're committed to investing. Now, what do you invest in? Listen, there's no such thing as a good investment, only good investors. All of you need to study the skill of investing. You need to become an investor. Some books I'd recommend for investing. So the 2 books I'd recommend for the wealth category are, number 1, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a great one. Robert Kiyosaki, it's up here somewhere. Top shelf are my favorite books. And then second, The Richest Man in Babylon. Those are 2 great starter books to get you in the mindset of investing and becoming an investor. So step 1, choose a percentage. Step 2, get knowledgeable. Learn, study investing, watch YouTube videos about investing. Those are my tips on that. My dad said growing up, there's only 2 ways you make money. You bust your ass and you earn and you bleed for your money, or your money makes money. He's like, your money making money is way more fun, but you have to bust your ass first to get the money to invest. And my favorite Warren Buffett quote is, learn how to make money while you sleep, or you're going to work until you die. And so don't be an idiot. Nobody wants to work till they die. Start investing now, choose a percent, learn about investing, and watch your money. The most beautiful day ever is when your investments are making you more than your job and making you more than your expenses every month. Like, let's say your expenses every month is $6,000 a month, but you have $10,000 of investment income coming in every month. You have a $4,000 gap, and you could quit your job. Like, the most beautiful day ever is when you go to work because you want to, not because you have to. Most people are a slave to their job because, let's say they make $5,000 a month, but they're spending $6,000 a month. So every month they're getting freaking poorer. They're racking up debt. When you want to be on the opposite side, if you're earning $6,000, you want to spend like $2,000 or less if you can. Invest that other $4,000 so that $4,000 can build a nest egg that starts earning you money when you sleep. So I could go way deeper on the wealth side. I'm super passionate about that, but we're just going to stop there. So my wealth building time is 10 to 6 Monday through Friday. After that is shifting to the third pillar, love. So from 6 till I go to sleep, that's when I'm spending time with people I love. And most of the time it's with my wife and my daughter. And even when I was single, I'd spend time with friends. I'd spend time with friends or my family or the guys, or I'd go on dates. But at night, you need to spend time with people you love. And the loneliest points in my life is at night when I wasn't with people. So that was a huge breakthrough for me. But like every night, spend time, intentional time, building relationships with people you love, people you enjoy being around. So what I do for that is I get home 6:15, pretty much Monday through Friday, and 6:15 and on, I try to be as present as I can with my family. It's really easy once you start making money and get obsessed with like the business and the building and skills to like neglect your family and neglect your health. Like we talked about that. But you need to give yourself a hard line in the sand of when you're going to cut off and spend time with your family. So for me, it's 6 o'clock Monday through Friday. There's one night a week where we have our leadership meeting at night. But besides that, I'm home with my family. And being intentional, trying not to text people about work, be on social media and take calls, emails, all of that. I put my phone down and I spend time with my family. I go on walks, plan fun dates, be intentional. And that is our time to build and grow and connect as a family. So super important to build those relationships and spend time at night with people you love. In the love category, don't just hang out with people you love, but do things you love with the people you love. So whatever that is for you guys with your family, your girlfriend, your guy friends, like do fun things as a group and just watch your relationships just level up. And talk. Guys like to do things together. Women like to talk. So if you're married, spend time talking to your wife and it will pay off huge dividends and you'll just feel happier and better. So those are the first 3 pillars to the good life. So we started our day with health. Next was wealth. Third was love and relationships. So the last pillar in the good life is happiness. My definition of happiness is progress. And the more I'm growing, the more happy I am. When I'm the happiest in life, it's when I feel like I'm growing the most and I'm pushing myself to become better and do more. When I'm most miserable in life, it's when I'm not growing and I feel stuck and I feel stagnant. I'm not taking action and the action that I know I need on a consistent basis. So what's cool about happiness is if you have goals in health and you're accomplishing them and you're growing and you're getting better, if you have goals in your wealth category, in your career, in your job, in your business, and you're accomplishing them or you're making progress, your net worth and your assets in your personal finance category, and your love and relationships, your relationships are getting better, you're spending more time, more deep connection, you're going to be happy. And that's the cool part. So other tips on happiness, do what makes you happy. Like there are things in my life that make me happy and I try to do them as consistent as I can. So do the things that make you happy, whatever floats your boat. I think that the two main reasons we're put on this earth, in my opinion, are number one, become the best we can be. And that's where I'm talking about with the progress thing. The more we're growing, the more we're living. So become the best version of yourself. Be the healthiest version, the wealthiest version, the best, coolest relationships that you can. And then second, help others do the same. Help other people, give. The secret to living is giving. And so become the best version of you by applying these three pillars so that you can give back at the highest level and have a habit of giving. For the last 2 years, I've tried to give and be abundant with my time, my money, and my energy as much as I can. I started this podcast to give back. I've learned a lot of lessons and it's a way of giving back. And what I'd say with the giving is a muscle. The more you do it, the more that muscle grows and it builds. So do what fulfills you, do the things that make you happy, give and tie what you're doing to a bigger purpose than just yourself. So those are the 4 pillars to the good life. I hope that was helpful. If it was, share it with a friend. And until next time, peace.